Hello, this is Ray with Get Real Ray, a place and space for life and business tips from this creative soul to hopefully inspire you on your journey. Look at you, you're in the car, you're like, vroom, vroom, I'm on a journey. Bye, Ma, bye, Pa, I'm going abroad. Beep, beep, honk, honk. And then you realize, I'm losing inspiration. I miss Ma and Pa and Cousin Ted. And then you see my smiling face. Inspiration right here. I'm also on the radio. And then you're like, okay, it's not a crazy killer. And actually, I'm okay with this jam on the radio. And so, that's my goal, is to inspire you on your journey, or at the very least, provide you with some laughs and not be a crazy killer. So let's get real. Let's get real about the fact that some people be trying to overemphasize the uniqueness factor. Let's talk about it. Okay, my friends, so full transparency and disclosure, I am sitting on the floor to respect this home because there's a lot of beautiful pictures of the family around the house, and this ain't my family, it ain't your family, so you don't need to be saying whose family this is. Also, there's a dog next to me that fell asleep, so even though I am wearing a microphone, if you hear some snoring, it's not me. I did not fall asleep while talking to you and start snoring, but it's actually the dog next to me. All right, so I was thinking about a wonderful young lady that I met on a train. Oh, there's another dog over there. I was on Amtrak and I was traveling from one house to another and looking forward to being able to sleep, but it was a time of day where there's a lot of business people and no one's asleep, and I did not pay for the business sleeper car or what have you. And it was crowded. This young lady sat next to me and I was like, just so you know, I might fall asleep. And she's like, oh, no problem. And then we started talking. And actually, I never slept because I really enjoyed talking to her. And I found her story quite fascinating. Also a solopreneur. However, she did have a small team, I think of like 1 or 2 people working for her. And with that being said, she was telling me about her business, which I thought to myself, that is a business idea that I once thought of doing. She specializes in hospitality and empowering team members of a business to take pride in providing excellent service. And that is something that big fancy pants restaurants take pride in. They want for their staff to have that fine dining mentality when serving guests, but the skill it takes to get from just a casual restaurant to being able to go to fine dining is not a skill that is developed overnight. A lot of people who enter the restaurant industry don't really understand good quality customer service, and so it can be hard to make that transition from regular restaurant to top-notch restaurant. And of course, in the top-notch restaurant, that's where you're getting the big tips because people are spending more money on the average check, the average bill. This dog is like hard into the story right now. It's so funny. So with that being said, I found her business truly fascinating. And she had said to me, oh, I don't really market. It's all word of mouth. And this I found very interesting. That's unique because in this day and age, everybody's on social media. And given her age, what you mean? You don't do any marketing? She was younger than me. That's what I mean when I say given her age. Okay. So she did say that, no, I don't spend any money on marketing. First, she said she didn't do any marketing. She's like, no, I don't spend any money on marketing. It's all word of mouth. I'm like, okay. And I love to learn from other business people. I, for a period of time, consumed tons of business books, consumed tons of business advice on YouTube, and At times, I'll listen to podcasts. I don't really love the business podcast as much. I don't know why. I haven't found a good business podcast. So if you know of a good business podcast that you can recommend to this girl, please put it in the comments below, because I'll be taking these long drives and I need a good listen. Lo and behold, though, once I thought about it after our conversation, adored her, thought she was amazing. I was eager to help her. That's how powerful her ability to communicate with another person is. So I was like, man, do I still even know anybody in the restaurant industry that could use this girl's services? Like, she's amazing. And to be that infectious when you meet somebody is truly a gift in and of itself. However, I wish maybe she didn't even realize it. Like, maybe it didn't even occur to her. I wish she hadn't tried to sell me on this idea that she didn't do any marketing, because she does. And maybe instead of buying into that, it would be better for her to focus on the style of marketing she does is her uniqueness factor. Okay, so what do I mean? Well, she has an assistant who handles taking emails that she collects or contact information that she collects from people. And she also has, so that's already an investment, is having an assistant to help you keep things organized. Then she has an email list. And so her kind of goal when she meets someone is to exchange information if they would like, right? If you want to, connect in the future, hey, here's my information. Here's someone I know that kind of does what you do. Maybe it's of interest, right? She wasn't, handing me a business card or anything like that. Very casual, just very like, oh, maybe you might be interested in this. So she found out a little bit about me. So that's also quite a talent. But email newsletter, that's marketing. Because you're using this newsletter to keep other people informed of what you do. It's marketing. It's letting the world know, hello, I'm out here. This is what I do. Additionally, she has Instagram. And she regularly posts on her Instagram. And even though she's not paying for Instagram ads, her Instagram page in and of itself is a form of marketing. Because again, it's letting the world out there know this is what you do. And for her line of work, she has a background specializing in hospitality for hotels and big corporations. So it made sense for her to go private and be able to take her asset, her skill, and teach it to other people. And she has that experience working with large teams because she's done that in the corporate hospitality world. Now, as much as I love the idea, I don't have that experience of running a large team for a major hotel chain or anything like that. So for someone like me to make that transition would be a lot harder, and I'd have to really work at that marketing aspect to get people to trust and buy in and then develop that word of mouth. Now, what is the point of this? Well, if you are a solopreneur, then you might be asking yourself, oh, how do I market and get people to know about me and my business? I ain't got the money, honey. And maybe one day you're investing in TikTok ads, the other day you're investing in Instagram ads or Facebook ads. I have this company that keeps messaging me about Facebook ads, and well, they don't directly say Facebook, but it's a cold email. And they're trying to schedule a call with me. And when I look to see what they do, they push people towards Facebook ads. And I'm just like, that's not where my target audience that wants to spend money is hanging out. I don't even know how relevant Facebook ads are anymore, to be honest. There's a lot of businesses out there who have crafted this whole business plan around Facebook ads. I've talked to at least 3 different, maybe 4 different businesses actually that are a part of that, like that's their niche, that's their focus. And I think these businesses have become more aggressive over time because they're looking for people like me who might need some marketing assistance, and they're hoping that I don't know that Facebook ads are not as relevant as they were 10 years ago. I'm sorry, they're just not. Google Ads is even losing its power right? So how you choose to market your business can have a really big impact on your bottom line when it comes to being a solopreneur. Now, when you are not a solopreneur, you're just like, well, I ain't got a business, so what this got to do with me? Hang up now, hold up, because when it comes to the uniqueness factor, this plays a huge part in terms of one's marketability and one's marketing. Hear me out. So those parents who are just like, oh, my child is just naturally talented. You know, she's gonna go to that competition. He's gonna go to that competition, win awards, do amazing things, get into the most elite schools. I've met so many parents who just want to tell me my child is just naturally smart, amazing, talented, whatever. And I'm not saying your kid is not smart, amazing, talented, but what is the purpose of trying to attach a uniqueness factor by saying it's natural? It's natural. We're not doing anything. But it's just, my child woke up and suddenly they understood binary code. Like, no. Your child woke up and you said, hey, I want to teach you binary code, and your child is really interested and invested in what you say, and so they're really focused on learning binary code. I use that as an example because I did have a parent who was just like, oh, my child knows binary code, and they're only like 9 years old or something. I was like, okay, and? I don't know what else to, okay. I get this a lot with parents of young dancers. Oh, you know, my child just naturally gifted, does 10 different types of dance. And I'm like, okay, but your child didn't just wake up knowing how to dance. They went to class. They studied. And if they didn't go to class, they studied from YouTube, or they kept trying and failing and falling multiple times on their own. But it didn't just magic Cinderella, bing, you're wearing a fancy dress. It didn't like just happen. And so parents also need to be really honest with themselves about their kids. The same way that a business owner should be honest with themselves about how they market. Don't worry about selling other people on your uniqueness. Instead, focus on what is really unique about you. Not the fact that you don't market like everyone else does. Not the fact that your child is special unlike all those other kids. What you actually want to focus on is looking at how you are able to accomplish the things you can accomplish. This is not to put down anyone else, and sometimes it takes a little bit of extra insight. I'm going to be honest about that. So in the example of the young lady that I met on the train, instead of informing me that she doesn't do any marketing, and I'm just pulling up my notes, she doesn't do any marketing, and it's all word of mouth. Another way to phrase this would be, I don't spend a lot of money on marketing, but rather invest a lot of my time into my marketing. So time instead of money. I'm very selective about how I market my business, and I have surrounded myself with a very small team that allows me to really maximize how I'm using the 2 marketing channels that I use. I don't have a big marketing budget, so instead of investing in ads, I actually focus on building my Instagram presence and my email list. These are great things. These are relatable things, useful things, and it's not something that has to separate us. They are still unique, but it does not have to be something that puts us on different playing fields. And that's one thing about the uniqueness factor, is a lot of times people just want to be on a different playing field. For some reason, there's this desperate need to be considered special. I remember when I was in elementary school and they had us like reciting this poem, I'm special, I am rare, I am unique. That was like the first part of the poem. And in a way, it was good because it was a low-income neighborhood, mostly kids that are Black or brown. And we needed to hear that we were special and not just disposable. Like, we needed to know that we were valued. And so there was a lot of positive, there was a very positive aspect of having us say that information. However, the other side is that at times when we tell kids all the time, you're so special, you're so rare, you're so unique, they grow up thinking, well, I'm better than everybody else and anyone else, and I should get everything I want because I'm special, rare, unique. I shouldn't have to follow the rules because I'm special, rare, unique. I'm the bestest of everything because I'm special, rare, unique. And it's like, whoa, slow your roll. You can't just go around murdering people. You still have to follow the law, special, rare, unique. Okay, you get the point. Now, with that being said, in case of the parent with the child, we could say, my child has worked really hard at developing their talent. I don't even know like where they get it from. I'm not skilled in that area, neither is their other parent. In fact, I don't think anybody in my family has done this, that, or the other thing, but fully support my child's passion and admire their drive, and we just do whatever we can to support them. Relatable. It shows that you are an amazing parent. It doesn't mean that your child is somehow better than all the other children, right? Like if Simone Biles' parents were just like, my child is special, rare, unique, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But you know, we really supported our daughter when she decided that she wanted to focus on developing her skills. And we're very proud of her. We don't do it, but we're very proud of her and we support her in any way we can. Like, yes, amazing, tell me more, right? And so instead of focusing on separating yourself from others, you can actually develop a way to talk about yourself, your career, your family, your business in a way that makes people want to lean in and listen and want to know more about you, as opposed to feeling separate from you and kind of, you know, don't worry about trying to put yourself on a pedestal. You also don't really want for others to put you on a pedestal. Why? Because it's really easy to fall down and come crashing and to no longer be seen as great, effective, amazing in someone else's eyes. And if it comes to the eyes of your customers, you definitely don't want that. No. When it comes to the eyes of your peers, do you want to put yourself in a position where you feel like your peers have less respect for you because they saw behind the curtain of Willy Wonka's, no, not Willy Wonka, was it? The Wizard of Oz's office? Was it his office? I don't know. He just behind the curtain. The man was behind the curtain. I'm behind the curtain. I'm the wizard. Right? So when it comes to your effectiveness at work, right? Maybe you're not a solopreneur. You don't have your own business. You're like, look, Ray, stop talking about kids. I ain't got any. No problem. Because you're at work, you're doing your thing. And instead of being like, I don't really have to work. I just, all this comes natural to me. The other end of the spectrum, it used to be way more popular back in the day to be like, I work 60 hours a week and that's why I'm the best at what I do because I work so hard. I think now it's more like work-life balance. And so people are like, I barely work, but I get it all done. And my life is so balanced. I'm so amazing, special, rare, unique. Instead, be relatable. It's okay to say, I really try to use my time at work to do the best work that I can. And then that allows me to free up the mental space so that once I'm done at the end of the day, I can go home and really focus on my family or my friends or my hobbies or just self-care. And it just reduces any kind of stress. And yeah, I love what I do at my job. I love it, right? So you in of itself, loving your job is letting the world know that you do your job. Great, good on you. That is a form of marketing, right? And yet you become relatable by not trying to sell the other person on, yeah, I just get all the big contracts. I just have all the best ideas. Or, you know, it's not hard for me. It's okay if it's hard for you. It's okay if it's doesn't feel hard. But be honest with yourself. Acknowledge that you do work to accomplish whatever it is that you are accomplishing. I would love for 2026 and moving forward for people to really take pride and ownership in being relatable, not separate and above and in a whole other class, but being honest with oneself and being willing to relate to others. Don't be fake. Be honest, but also be willing to just take a moment and think, how am I doing this? How am I raising these kids and killing it at work? Or how am I keeping my business afloat after all this time? I do not know. How am I doing this? What have I set myself up with in order to succeed? Because your recipe for success may be able to benefit someone else. But it all starts with you being honest with yourself about how you're putting yourself out there, which of course is how you're marketing yourself. And so with that, my friends, I hope you found this somewhat helpful. And until next time, peace.